Hello, and welcome to my channel. I was gonna make a nice, happy video today, but then I saw some videos online, and I've been reading so much controversy about this stuff online recently, and I was like, no, it's time, because buckle up, guys. It's time for a rant video. Because, guys, we need to talk about early celebration. This is such a controversial topic. This is such a hot topic in the track and field world right now. I was like, I have to talk about this. If you don't have all the drama, if you're not up to date on the tea, kind of the recent event that spurred this conversation that I feel like comes up every few months or years in track and field is like disqualifications because of celebrations, or like early celebration disqualifications. So basically, what brought this back into the spotlight is at a high school state championship in North Carolina. The final runner for a boys 4x4 team crossed the line first. And before he crossed the line, he raised his hand up, like, yeah, we won. And because of that, he and his whole team were DQ'd from the race. And there was a bunch of drama about how he had been warned previously, possibly, and whether or not he actually got that warning and things of that nature. I don't really want to talk about the specific case because I don't have personal knowledge of it, so I don't want to speak to it because there's a lot of controversy as to what actually happened in that case. But I kind of want to talk about it as a general phenomenon because I think it's something that's really interesting. And also, I was watching the Shanghai Diamond Leagues last week, and there were a couple of early celebrations, both in the women's 3,000 meter steeplechase and the men's 3,000 meter, just like the flat 3,000 meter distance. The same distance, but steeple versus not. And actually, specifically, I thought the women's steeplechase one was really interesting, but we'll get to that in a minute. Because this has been coming up a lot in track and field, and so I wanted to weigh in and give my 2 cents. For those of you who don't know me, I am a high school runner, and at the high school level, basically what all of our coaches, anyone will tell you this at the high school level, just do not celebrate. Contain yourself. That it's always what they say. Is it fun always to contain yourself? No, but that is always what we are told from day one, because things like this do happen and you can get on an official's bad side. And I'm not saying anyone does anything wrong by celebrating, because when you have this great run, you want to celebrate it, but that's what we're taught. I'm not saying that should be how it is, but that's what we're taught, is that do not celebrate, just don't even until the race is well finished, and then you can, go over to your team and celebrate. But until then, just don't, because also every official is different, especially on the high school level. Some officials just have it out for you. We have officials that will do some absolutely wild things in my conference, and they just get away with it because they're officials. It's honestly crazy. But it's just kind of something that you're taught and you learn very early in track and field, is that this is just kind of this forbidden territory that you can't go into. And a lot of people say that that's bad for the sport because you want to have these iconic moments. And when you have those iconic moments, you want to have a visual celebration to go along with them. And to an extent, I do absolutely agree, because how many cool ass flicks have we gotten from the Olympics after someone finishes a race and wins the gold medal and things of that nature? It's always such an iconic moment. So if it happens a meter before the finish line, what's the difference compared to when it happens a meter after the finish line? And obviously there are situations where there can be big impacts to a race. But kind of, in my opinion, it should be a case-by-case basis. I watched a runner. Now, I can't tell you names because this was probably 3 or 4 years ago at our sectional meet, so I have no idea who it even is, and I wouldn't share it even if I did because it's just some random high school kid. But we had a runner get disqualified in the mile because he celebrated early. He was coming down the finish. He basically probably had 5 or 10 meters to go, and he put his arms out like this to celebrate that he won. But The reason more specifically he was disqualified is because when he put his arms out like this, there was actually someone trying to come on his outside and pass him, and he obstructed that runner. And so that is why he was disqualified, because the officials believed that had he not done that, that runner would have gotten past him and won the race. So that is definitely something to be cognizant of, but I honestly think it should be a case-by-case basis. If no other runner is being obstructed due to your celebration, I don't think it should be a problem. I just think it needs to be, what was the harm in this? And obviously, you can make a case for obscene gestures. You know, you don't want people flipping people off, or you don't want people dissing their competition. I understand that, but most of these very classic celebration gestures, no one in the field is going to see, you know, doing this because you won, as long as you're not obstructing another runner. You're doing like a little thumbs up, or, you know, like, no one is going to see that as dissing other runners unless it's literally directed at a specific individual or they're doing something derogatory. And obviously that's a different case. But otherwise, I think these celebrations should honestly be allowed, because I do think it's just fun. And also, it just sucks when you see a race, you're invested in it, you watch the finish, and then the order they cross the line in doesn't end up being the result. And obviously, there are situations when that is absolutely necessary and DQs need to happen because you want to keep the integrity of the sport and you want to keep athletes safe. But at what point is doing this because you won a state championship? At what point is that not maintaining the integrity of the sport? That's actually just losing you the integrity of the sport. And so I do want to circle back and talk about the women's 3K steeple at the Shanghai Diamond League, because I think it's very interesting and it does present kind of something I had never seen before and kind of a unique issue that you might have when it comes to people celebrating before the line. So I'm going to pull up the footage here because I want to give y'all the specifics and I don't want to get this wrong. But in this steeplechase race with on the home stretch, it was Peruth Chemutai and Faith Cheretich battling for the win at the Shanghai Diamond League. And they get over that last water barrier. They're sprinting. And there's a little bit of stuttering over the last barrier. And then after that, Cheretich is trying to come around Chemutai on the outside. Cheretich is coming around on the outside, and Chemutai kind of puts her arms out like this. Now, I'm not sure. I thought at first time of watching this, she was trying to celebrate. I still kind of think she was trying to celebrate. Either that or she was really hurting. But she drops her arms like she's going to put them out. But the other runner's trying to come on the outside, and so she is kind of obstructing the other runner's clear path, but like not directly. There's no contact until right before the finish line, and then the other runner actually ends up pushing Peruth Chemutai over the line first. So she kind of, there is a little bit of contact at the end there, and it kind of like puts her torso over the line first. I'm not saying that that win was not deserved. It was a world leading time. It was an amazing race. But I wanted to share that because it was genuinely something I had never seen before. You guys should go watch it. It's in the extended highlights for the Shanghai Diamond League meeting, because I can't even tell. I've watched it so many times and I told you what I believe happened based on watching it so many times, but I'm still not 100% sure on what actually happened. So give it a watch and let me know what you guys think. But those are some of the kind of unique issues that can come when you do have celebrations or contact before the line. And obviously, when there is a celebration, it can increase the risk of contact before the line. But I still think it should be allowed, especially because there are so many times when athletes are clear of the field and it literally doesn't matter and doesn't impact anything. So yeah, let me know what you guys think about this very controversial issue down in the comments below. In the meantime, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see y'all later. Bye!